Hi and welcome to Outwell and to our TOMCAT MP from our Smart Air polyester collection. This is a tunnel design tent which can sleep up to 5 people, and what I'm going to do is just talk you through the features of what I think makes this tent stand out from the crowd. I'm going to start off by talking about the frame that we use on here. So this is actually an inflatable tent, so in place of your traditional steel or fiberglass poles, we're using inflatable tubes throughout, so that allows for a really quick and fast, easy pitch. Not only that, but we're actually utilising our One-Go inflation technology here. So this is where we have one single input valve for the pump to be plugged into, and when we start pumping this tent up, the entire tent will be inflated because each beam is interconnected on the inside, which we will show you in detail. The pump that comes with the tent looks like this one here. So this is a double action hand pump. So on the upward stroke and the downward stroke of the pump, you're actually pushing air into these tubes. You can just see on the top here, you can keep an eye on the pressure with the pressure gauge here, and we recommend that we can inflate these tents from between 0.6 bar and 0.8 bar, which represents 8.7 to 11.6 psi. So that's a lot of pressure going into these poles, these beams rather, to ensure that the tent is going to be really solid and really stable even in windy conditions. As I say, we'll show you more detail on the inside shortly. So before going into the tent, I just want to highlight a great feature at the front here. This extended canopy off the front. Now obviously this is included in the tent, and this is where we use a steel pole at the front, and then this canopy just zips on underneath the tent here. Now what that does is it just gives you a sheltered area, so if it's a little bit drizzly but still quite warm outside, then you can sit here, or in the midday sun you're going to be able to sit under here and get a little bit of shade. So you can see here that the front door of the tent is a good size, enabling you to get all of your bits and pieces in and out of here no problem at all. Head height, plenty of it in here. I'm around 1.95 m tall, and you can see I can stand up in here no problem whatsoever. And there's certainly plenty of space around the tent as well for the likes of furniture and storage units and things like that as well. So I mentioned earlier on our One-Go inflation technology, so I just want to highlight that in detail on the inside. As I said, this is where all the beams in the tent are all interconnected with these bracer bars in between. Now you can see here that when you pump the tent up, the air is going to come up this tube here, and then it's going to spread out to the rest of the tubes, as I say, allowing the whole thing to be inflated in one. But another nice feature is that we have these shut-off valves on the inside, so when the tent is inflated, we simply just need to lock these into this position here, and what that does is individualises each and every beam in here, so that in the unlikely event of something going wrong, the whole tent's not going to deflate, it would just be one individual beam. Some other features to highlight then: on both sides of me here we have side entrances, and these also have large mesh doors as well. So again, we can roll up the outside door and we can leave these mesh doors down, having great through flow of ventilation within the tent, with the use also of the front door as well. We have windows all the way around the tent here on every single panel, allowing lots of light into the tent. Each window has its own curtain, which we just have rolled away at the moment, but these actually zip into position, so you can choose exactly how much light you're letting into the tent or how much privacy you're getting. At the back of the tent is where the bedrooms are, and as I mentioned earlier on, this tent can sleep up to 5 people. The bedrooms are pre-attached, so that's a job that you don't need to worry about. As soon as you inflate the tent, these are already in place for you. They're attached to the tent using our wave-shaped hanging point system across the top here, so that takes any stress off of this top seam on the bedrooms, and it also gives it a nice detailed finish as well. Some other details to highlight on the bedroom would be these handy storage pockets on the outside. We then also have ventilation panels built into the doors here, which actually have curtains behind them, so again, if you want full privacy you can zip these closed, or if you want the bedrooms to be a little bit more breathable, then you can open them as we have done here. Some other nice features in the tent is you'll find that we have some more storage pockets on the inside of the inner tent, just at the back corner here. And down at the front, what you will find is that we have our low level window, so this is just zip closed at the moment, but if I open this up, that will allow you to see outside without having to leave the comfort of your own bed. Across the back of the bedroom you'll find a large ventilation panel which corresponds with outside ventilation. The roof of the inner tent, so you'll see here, is a darker material just to stop quite as much light coming through in the morning, to keep you nice and cosy in bed. You'll also then see here that the bedrooms are divided in two using this fully zipped sheet here, so this can be opened up to create one large bedroom, or obviously as we have the configuration here, you can split them in two. Another great feature here is the use of our universal inners, and we'll just show you now how these work. So just at the top of the tent you'll find there's a lantern hanging point in a good central location, and then running away from that we have all these cable tidies which run down to where our cable entry point is. So this just allows you to run any electric cables into the tent without actually having these side doors opened. While I'm down here, I'll just highlight the ground sheet. So we're using an Oxford polyester material here, so this is really top quality material, which is of course completely waterproof. The tent is sealed from front to back and side to side, and you can see is bathtub in style. So what that's going to stop is any drafts coming into the tent, hopefully keep out things like sand and dirt and dust, and more importantly hopefully keep out those unwanted creepy crawlies too. On the front of the ground sheet you'll find that there's a zip that runs along the front here, so you can fully seal this tent or you can have it flat like this so it's easy access in and out. But you can see here there is a zip on the bottom that will then just zip onto the front door as well, giving you a full sealed tent on the inside. So I'll now just talk you through some of the features on the outside of the tent. I already mentioned that the canopy comes part of the tent, but if you don't want to use a canopy, it very simply zips off from the front of the tent, so you don't have to use it. Just also to highlight, we have our storm guy lines on the front here. Maybe you can tell it's quite a windy day today, but you can see that the canopy itself isn't going anywhere due to these high quality storm straps at the front. If we move around to the side of the tent, I mentioned earlier on that each panel's got its own window. These windows are all tinted, so they serve two key functions. One is to reflect a little bit of sunlight away from the inside of the tent, keeping you a bit more comfortable. But more importantly, you get much better privacy with tinted windows here as well. Some other features to highlight would be our fly sheet that we're using on here. This is our Outex 6000 material. This is a 150 denier taffeta polyester, which has been PU coated on the inside. It has fully taped seams and it has a hydrostatic head of 6000 millimeters. In here we have a large ventilation panel, and you'll just find under here we have a couple of Velcro straps which we can open up to allow for much better ventilation within the tent, or obviously you've just seen there that this can be kept closed if it is a little bit too chilly as well. We then have our luminous guy lines pre-attached all the way around the tent, so hopefully you should see these a little bit clearer when it's dark outside. Each guy line has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing down the tent we can wrap up the guy lines in our hands and pop them in here so that they're easily accessible for the next time you pitch the tent. We also use our easy pegging system on this tent here, which is where we supply you with three different types of peg. We have the solid steel peg for the grey pegging points on all the corners. We have the luminous plastic peg for the luminous guy lines, and we have the black plastic peg for all of the black pegging points around the side of the tent. So nice and easy to know that you're getting the right peg in the right place. When it comes to deflating the tent, it's really simple. Each beam has its own air out valve, so you can just see quite clearly written down here is air out. And on these valves here, they're just a really simple and easy valve to operate. All you need to do is simply twist this round to the open position and the air will come out of here and your tent will be easily deflated within a matter of minutes. So we have quite a few optional extras available for the TOMCAT MP. That would include two different types of carpet. So we have the 3-layer insulated carpet, we have the fleece carpet as well, just for the inside area there, giving you that home away from home feel. There's also a footprint available to go under the tent, which will of course give you a little bit better protection and keep your ground sheet clean and tidy. And there's also a front awning that can go onto the front of this tent here in place of the canopy as well. So that's all of the features of the TOMCAT MP from our Smart Air polyester collection. Thanks very much for watching.